Welcome to the first lecture of the course. Today we're going to be discussing Google Colab and how you can use it. First, look up Google Colab. If you have a Google account, you'll be ready. All you have to do is select any one of these pages that pop up. I'm just going to select Overview Notebook. And here's a quick demo of what Google believes you should know about Colab. Don't worry, you don't need to read through everything right now. I'm going to give a basic walkthrough of what the environment is and what you'll need to know in this course. Here is a basic template that you can follow. I just pressed File, New Notebook to get here, but you can do it however you want. Now, the first thing you'll notice is when you're on a Google Colab notebook that hasn't been worked on before, is that it's blank. It doesn't have any code. So let's add some code to demonstrate how it works. And as always, let's do a hello world printout. Great, it says hello world. Now you might be wondering, how did I run this code? Well, there are many shortcuts that you can use. I'll give you some. The one that I pressed was Control Enter. Control Enter, and it runs your code. If you want to run code and create a new cell, you can press Alt Enter. And that brings me to the next part of this. What is a notebook in the first place? I just entered some code, but a notebook file allows you to work with cells. Instead of working with a script, which is often what you'll work with Python with, you'll be able to run code non-linearly. What does that mean? That means I can print hello world and also define a variable x to be equal to hi, for instance. I'll run that code. Now I'll be able to return to my original cell and work with x. If you're familiar with the command line, you'll notice that notebooks work very similar to command lines, with the exception of it being a lot neater and editable. Most of the time, however, you won't work in nonlinear fashions like this. You'll simply work in fashions like this. Here, I just accessed the same variable x to print hi. Don't worry if you don't know how to define variables. We'll go over that in our next lecture. I just wanted to demonstrate how you can run code using notebooks. But why do we want to use notebooks in the first place? The reason is because we can edit code very easily without having to run the entire script over again. When you're working with data science applications that often take maybe minutes, even hours of time to run certain lines of code, you don't want to be running everything over and over and over again. You want to simply keep the variables, but maybe edit something in one implementation or one block of code. That's why we use notebooks. It's a lot easier. It's a lot cleaner. Now, here are a few things you need to know about the environment to be able to get started. I've already told you how to run code, but this isn't all about code. It also includes something called Markdown or text blocks. This is a very nice way to document your code. For instance, I can run documentation here, Alt Enter, and I'm brought to this screen. If you want to explain what's going on or some key insights you discover while running your code, you can include a Markdown text block right below your code block. And if you want to organize your code, you can make this a header. And so Colab already displays what it will look like. Let me click away. And this is how it looks like in the actual code document. Great. Now we know about text blocks and code blocks. Let's get into other features Colab has to offer. Some things you should know off the bat are ways you can download code over here and ways that you can upload your code over here. Also, I recommend you get to know the insert cells and their respective shortcuts. In addition, I recommend you get to know the runtime block over here because there are certain lines such as run all that you might want to use, as well as interrupt execution. Finally, I want to point out that you can use your own data with Colab. Even though it's on the web, you can simply drag and drop your data into the files part here. And what you can do is you can press copy path and have direct access to the path, like this. So when we're using pandas later down the line, you can actually use the data sets that we import in Colab. And we'll get into how that works when we get to it. Great. I hope you learned something, and I hope to see you in a future lecture. See you then.